So you've been asked to do something like 1 over 1 plus square root 2, and specifically to rationalise. And all rationalisation does is it gets rid of square roots on denominators. And it's not an obvious process, this, but it's one that we learn. So if I rewrite what we've been given, 1 over 1 plus square root 2, and I multiply that by 1 minus square root 2 over 1 minus square root 2, can you see that all I've done is I've taken the denominator here and I've reversed its sign from plus to minus, and then I've put it over itself. So if I put it over itself, then the value of this is just 1. So that's not going to change the value of this, multiplying it by 1, but it will change the form. So let's investigate how it changes the form. Let's look first at the denominator. And on the denominator, we have 1 plus square root 2 times 1 minus square root 2. And if we expand that, let's see what happens. Well, 1 times 1 is 1. And then we got 1 times minus square root 2, which is minus square root 2. And then we got plus square root 2 times 1, which is plus square root 2. And then we've got plus square root 2 times minus square root 2. So that's plus times a minus is a minus. And square root 2 times square root 2 is square root 4. And square root 4 is 2. Now, can you see that what we've got here is a minus square root 2 and a square root 2, which gives us 0. And what we've got left there is 1 minus 2. And 1 minus 2 is minus 1. So we've very much simplified the denominator to minus 1. So if we go back to here, we can put in that we've now got a denominator of minus 1, simplified. And then we're just multiplying the numerators. Well, that's an easy job because we've got 1 times 1 minus square root 2. So if you think of this as being in brackets, we've just got one lot of that. And so we've got 1 minus square root 2 on the top. Now, the only thing that we might tidy up is we've got a minus 1 on the bottom here, and we prefer not to have a minus 1. So if we think about that as being minus 1 times the top, minus 1 times the bottom, we're doing the same top and bottom, and so we'll get something of the same value. So if we put a negative in front of the top, and we multiply the bottom also by negative 1, negative 1 times negative 1 gives us positive 1. So we're left with a numerator of minus, brackets 1 minus square root 2. And if we expand that out, minus times the 1 is minus 1. And the minus 1 in effect out here times the minus square root 2 is just going to give us positive square root 2. Now, most mathematicians would decide to write that the other way around so that we haven't got a negative at the front. So we'd have square root 2 minus 1. So there we go.